Hi, I'm Zero, and this is my Twitch stream, seroRPG, because I like to do RPG things. And quite a lot of the time, I will be TTRPGing with my friends. It's usually a one-shot. I love Monster of the Week, but I'm also getting to solo RPGs. And we were up to the final year of Tangled Blessing, which is a dark academia type solo journaling game with prompts and tarot cards. However, I'm not very good with the grimdark stuff, so it's kind of become a little bit of a parody of things like Hogwarts. So anyway, let's go through what's happened so far, because this is our little witch Hazel's fourth and final year at the academy. But let's go back and see what she's done in the first 3 years, as well as what her rival and also her familiar dump truck has been up to. So we started out with little Hazel here. Here's her picture. And she was a 21-year-old NEET. She was failing out of Victoria University in Wellington, New Zealand. She was living in a student flatting situation with people she really didn't know. She was deciding what she was going to do with her life, and things were looking pretty bleak. I reckon she was actually not the golden child in her family. She was probably the scapegoat. She probably has some older sister or and a younger brother. She's probably the middle child. She really has nothing going for her in the everyday world that we have. The only thing was her specialty, where she can always get kitty cats to let her pet them. But then one day a kiddo, which is a native giant wood pigeon type thing, tapped on her window at her student flat and gave her a letter inviting her to Brackroot Academy, which was magically hidden in the South Island of New Zealand, right down the bottom there in Fiordland, a magically hidden island where an academy for adults and learn their magical ways, and it's a big secret. Shh. Anyway, once she got there, she got told she was a magical prodigy, but she was actually good at something. It was quite the surprise. But she also found out that Perry Hotter was also a magical prodigy, and the two of them were pitted against each other. The winner at the end of graduation, the one who did the best, who came first in class essentially, was going to have a solid future all mapped out for them. They were going to be recognized, they would have a job, they would have connections, and the person who didn't win would become the first loser. Not so bad. I mean, you still graduate and everything, right? But this is the first time Hazel's actually ever been good at anything, and she wants to be the best that she can be, prove to herself and possibly to others that she is actually good at something. Anyway, Perry comes across as quite the gentle leader. He has dreams that are sometimes prophetic. He has the strength card, and he's sorted by the speaking gem into the House of Panthers, whereas Hazel is sorted into the House of Elements, known for their cleverness, their hunger, and also their negligence. Anyway, first year for Hazel, she didn't do too bad actually. She was manipulating time to grow plants faster, but she was accidentally sabotaged by Buddhist McChipper, who sent their clone in that was apparently made from plant matter. And that clone was to learn while Buddhist, just did whatever Buddhist wanted to do. But the clone accidentally got aged into an old man, and in order to rebuild her reputation, Hazel had to go out and kill the clone. She learned that there was a clone because of Dump Truck, because Dump Truck got lost one day and was found with both Buddhists. Anyway, so apparently the clone contained some catnip in there. Which Dump Truck found tingly and blick. Anyway, she killed the clone and made Buddhists say that go around everywhere and say, "Oh look, she de-aged me. It's all fine. Everything's good." She would have loved to have told Grandpa Hazel all about it at the school. She thinks that since they are both introverts together and liked cats, and Grandpa had a lot of cats, that Grandpa would really like it, especially the Whispering Lake, as he loves to fish. What else is there? Then there was an alchemical presentation on the properties of greenstone / jade, and her partner, the original partner, Dickie the 16th, accused her of doing no work at all, and he had to carry her because he was really jealous that things just seemed to come easier to her, this unknown person. But he obviously comes from a family of witches, and found that he had to work much harder than than Hazel did, and he felt like it wasn't right. So he thought he would get some revenge on her. Anyway, Dump Truck couldn't do much, just offer the emotional support dump truck that he was. But she didn't really find out that this was the case, but she did go and have to remake a presentation on the elemental properties of something different. And she did, and she, got good marks. Anyway, Perry Hodder had quite an interesting first year as well. He created a portal that allowed him to go to his cousin Barry Hodder's home, and he decided to prank him. So he hopped on over, put hair removal in his shampoo. The first time he attempted to do the portal, it went wrong, and he got a scar that zapped him in the eye. He recovered quite quickly, though, but he continued to wear the eye patch for quite a while after because the girls still felt sorry for him, and they would give him attention and cookies. Anyway, that potion that he used, hair removal potion, was something that he created when he was in potions class. He did have to get some ingredients, though, but he enlisted the help of Rufus LaBouche, who was a student who regretted coming to the academy and he wanted out, and Perry said he would help him if he got the ingredients for the potion. No one drank it, obviously, since he used it in his cousin's shampoo bottle, and he got a really good grade for it because the professor of potions is quite a drinker. He drinks on the job, is easygoing and adventurous, and he loves sharing with others. And he loved that this potion, not just because of what it can do, but also how Perry used it in practice to prank his cousin. A+. We also discovered later on that Perry wasn't actually able to help Rufus get out of the academy, so Rufus kind of turned away from Perry at that point. At one point, there was, in a divination class where Perry and Hazel were there, they discovered that they saw something where they were helping each other instead of working against each other. And it was some kind of event in a forest or something, some kind of magical obstacle course. And they were initially like, what the fuck? Because they didn't like that idea. But when it actually happened, it was at ended up being magically tethered together like a 3-legged race, and they were actually forced to work together, so that was the only reason why that happened. Between year and 1, Hazel went to visit Grandpa with Dump Truck. They went fishing, petted lots of cats. She did sort of miss the access to magic, but was happy to be back where she considers her home to be, which is with Grandpa Hazel. Dump Truck, he felt the ebbs and flows of all sorts of different magic being flung around while he was at the academy. Sometimes it was tasty, sometimes warm like a sunbeam, and sometimes prickly like fur being rubbed the wrong way. And sometimes it was loud. So Dump Truck was becoming sensitive to the magic that was being used around him. Perry, however, didn't want to go back home because his aunt and uncle and cousin, who he's lived with, are pretty shit. And so he probably snuck into the other houses and rifled through people's belongings because he needs to find out everyone's secrets to use to his advantage and to know who to trust. Then we started year 2. And because of Dump Truck hunting underneath Hazel's bed looking for something, they discovered there were some runes carved on the floor or under the bed to imbue her with fear. And she was just afraid that she'd be found out to be a fraud, or that she's just been lucky, the right time, right place, and that she sucks in the magical realm just as much as she did in the mundane world. So she was having some imposter syndrome and a lot of fear going on there. It turned out that Temperance, a third-year student, did it as revenge, as Hazel had turned her little sister into a newt, and it had taken a while for her to turn back. But she did get better, although she missed some of the school year. And Hazel found out who it was because an anonymous note was left in her book after a class. She's just been sitting on the information. She didn't really do anything with it because it's kind of like understandable. And she would hope that, maybe wouldn't it have been cool that her older sister had looked out for her like Temperance did for her younger sister? What else? So, students were going missing over a few weeks, and they were found in a clearing eventually in the Forbidden Forest. There was this pillar where a student, when they removed a student, the pillar shattered and all the students were freed. What they remembered was they thought they were following a friend to help them with something. But when they got to the clearing, their friend had disappeared, and then they don't remember anything after that. They also don't remember who that friend was. The instructors just dealt with it by saying the series are off limits unless you're accompanied by a professor or have approval from the headmaster. Dump Truck ended up foiling some attempts to get Hazel to the pillar by either winding around her legs and tripping her or smacking her on the face. You know how cats do that thing sometimes? He thought it was Blick, cold, scared smack, and then he was happy. So, because she would obviously be smacked out of whatever was going on. Then she found some secret passages and hidden rooms, and this was all because Dump Truck got lost one day behind behind a wall, and she could hear him yowling. And because of that, she found this one room that contained some magical artifacts that she recognized as ones that came with cautionary tales. She told the headmaster about it because she was good, and she was worried that if she can find it by accident, then who's to say someone else who was more tempted couldn't also, like Perry Hodder, because, he's her rival and he's not that hot. She was totally tempted to take some of these, but then she felt like that feeling of being a fraud would become real, and she ultimately decided that the potential negatives and the guilt would not be worth it. Perry, on the other hand, was wandering around different parts of the school, and he was approached by a spirit who revealed himself to be that of a fourth-year house leader. He was very antagonistic, but he did reveal something about the academy's history. Every year, the loser of the prodigy rival is used to power the invisibility shield that covers the entire academy and hides it from the mundane world. He didn't initially believe it, but the nightmares that he was having began to wear on him, because remember, he has some dreams that sometimes turn out to be prophetic. But he did try to investigate the previous losers from the rivalry, but every attempt he made was blocked at every turn. Then his favourite professor was ousted from the academy because they had ties to an association attempting to gain control of the school. They secretly entrusted Perry with a small sealed chest. It was the professor who had taught potions back in year 1 who gave who gave Perry an A+ for that hair loss potion. He found it by going through the professor's office. He took some of the gin that he would often drinks quietly in his office, and he accidentally spilled some of the alcohol in the chest, and it just opened right up. And inside it was a small torch or flashlight, like the kind that goes on a keyring. And he later discovered it's a torch of truth. We'll have to remember to use that in the 4th year, That would be very handy. Anyway, this ghost would follow him around, just, stalking him, but he was finally able to catch him with magic. And they said that a traitor hunts you. He decided to repay this ghost for the information. This ghost was Matt, who was in the 1st year with Perry. He was in the class clown, but was also reclusive. We're not too sure how Matt died, but he wanted Perry to play a practical joke on Hazel by asking her out to an upcoming ball, but then stand her up. He decided to interpret this message that it was someone close to him in his circle as friends, and he needs to keep a better eye on them all and maybe search their stuff again. At the end of the year, Both Perry and Hazel had a dream that the speaking gem wanted to talk to them. So they turned up. They lock eyes for a moment, and Hazel, still upset and angry at being stood up by Perry, rushes for the speaking gem. Perry also moves his hand out, and they both touch it at the exact same time, and it says to them, "What you seek is hidden in the Grand Rotunda." Without a word, they both rush off to the Grand Rotunda, and there on a natural platform, they find a book, and they both try to take it at the same time, but it rips and pages fly everywhere. They each grab handfuls of pages and go their separate ways. Oh, and Dump Truck can now speak! Wow! Year 3. The Super Pure Blood Moon. Let's get drunk and dance naked in the super pure blood moonlight along the lake. Everyone had the day off to deal with this event individually. Some felt that by doing rituals during this would increase your potency. Others felt that it was like a curse or bad luck, and so wouldn't practice any magic at the time. Overall, the mood at the academy the morning after is hungover, but mostly good. Dump Truck feels that the air is weird, but the fearless ones were weirder. There was a wishing fountain where reflections would pick up the tossed coins that people would toss in there, silver disc coins, as they made their wishes. And they handed the reflection over to Hazel's reflection. But then Hazel opened her real hand and found that she had a collection of coins that had blood on them. The friends that she was with at the time who tossed in their coins were Raven, she's a nervous girl who lied about which house the speaking gem put her in. She was originally in Panthers but ended up in Elementals. She's the daughter of the groundskeeper, and her wish is for Rufus to be happy and enjoy his time at the academy. Rufus LaBouche, who had made that deal with Perry in the first year, is now friends with Hazel. He doesn't want to be at the academy still. Is now friends with Hazel. His wish is to get out, but he wants to humiliate some teachers first. And then there was Ronnie, and Ronnie's a messy and good-natured person, always out for something new, and their secret is that they can read minds. And they wish for their friends' wishes to come true, because they were able to read the wishes of their friends. Hazel wished to be victorious over Perry Hodder. Once that eerie thing happened with the coins and the reflections, Hazel decided to take them to Crescentius, her favourite instructor, who's the instructor of necromancy, because he reminds her a bit of Grandpa. They're a somber and reliable person and have intensely dark eyes. So apparently they're all cursed now, because they did this. So Crescentius had her wash the coins and then put them back into the fountain in order to break the curse. Dump Truck watched the whole thing happen. He sat on the edge of the fountain and swatted at the reflections before they could curse her again. He thinks the water is god bad and shouldn't drink it. So then there was the Order of the Bones, a necromancy type club that Crescentius had recommended to her, and also was mentioned in that book that her and Perry ended up with ripped half pages of, had mentioned. Anyway, they invited her to be a member. So they're all necromancers, or at least dabble in it. And the animating skeleton was used to accept her. The Order of the Bones has been going on for quite a long time, and it helped originally found the academy and still plays a part in its governance. It's currently led by Evangelista, who is a ghost who was cursed at death in their and who is currently in their teen ghost years. They used to be the arcane counselor at the academy, and they were patient and rigid and wore a lot of lunar accessories. When Hazel and Dump Truck approached the skeleton, they saw that it was just twine moving its hand, and the whole thing is fake. So they figured it was It was wasn't the real order of the bones, so they didn't bother joining Dump Truck. However, after they left the event, found a mark on his skin under his fur that looks suspiciously like a skull. He may have attended the event too. He noted that his skin feels prickly, but he also feels stronger. Perry found a skeleton key that got hot or cold whenever he moved around the academy. It got so hot at one point that he pulled it out and decided to use it on a nearby lock, and he released a shit ton of moths. On the floor was something inscribed on a plaque, and it said, "Do not release the prisoners of Moonlight. For more information, see the catastrophe of," and then there's something scratched out with an unreadable year. Perry did some investigating and found out that former rivals of the Prodigy race had found out the truth behind the academy and decided to bring it down instead of participating, but they ultimately failed. Some of the academy was destroyed at the time, and lesser powerful students were awarded first and second place. The original pair were turned into moths and imprisoned here. This happened back in 1970. It was Sibylla from the Celestials, who was stubborn, honest, and tired of authority, and Anton from Panthers, who was brave, easygoing, and adventurous. They made it all the way to 4th year, and instead of taking their exams, they decided to take down the academy. Then they went to a party that was run by 4th years, where they sometimes invite 3rd year academy students to attend. Perry was warned not to eat or drink anything. What he remembers of the time there, it was a farcical courtroom drama, and the 3rd years that were brought there were all brought forward with charges and judged. He wished he could forget that he was found guilty of going through people's belongings at the end of his 1st year, as the ghosts that attended, for shits and giggles, actually testified against him. Now he has a reputation of being untrustworthy and a thief. He was warned not to eat any of the food or drink the drink by Matt, the ghost, who had heard it from the other ghosts as they all go to watch, either to condemn or enjoy the show, and he wanted to warn Perry. Then he went into the forest for a field trip to learn about dangerous creatures. He saw a vision of the academy collapsing when he was on his way back, and heard someone whispering, "You'll never escape." He was originally in the forest to investigate some bird-like creature that is leathery and preys on happiness but dislikes open spaces. Who else was there? There was Vladimir, a 4th year instructor's assistant, who was quite rude. Catherine from the Celestials was self-confident and prideful, while misguided is usually right. And what did they conclude from this vision? They're not sure if it's what happened back in 1970 with what was their names? Sibylla and Anton, who tried to take down the academy, or if it was something that perhaps will happen in the future, since his dreams tend to be prophetic. But remember, this was when he was awake and was having a vision. At the end of the year, there was an alumni-hosted masquerade ball, which was a 6-hour formal event. Hazel went with Raven, Rufus, and Ronnie, but Perry did not go. Practically everyone asked Hazel to dance, and she did, sometimes reluctantly. I think overall she had a good time until something happened. But she couldn't forgive or forget Perry for what he did at an earlier ball where he asked her out and stood her up, so she decided to use her magic, to make him sleep for the whole thing, and he ended up spending the night in bed. Well, at some point during this event, the ascended Stacy Gunmere, the Dean of Necromancy and Visions, was found murdered at the hall. What about Hazel's instructors, Crescentius boss? Yeah, so this was the boss for Hazel's favorite instructor, the instructor of necromancy, Crescentius's boss. I want to add a little bit to this one, because I think we glossed over it too much because it was right at the end. I think that when she put Perry to sleep, She rifled through his belongings. And she found probably the other half of the book that she was looking for. Of the book she had half of. So she could try and go through that. I think she also found a note from the murdered person. Also found a note from Ascended Stacy Gummere asking Perry to meet her in privately during the ball because of some kind of information. So I think that that this was very suspicious. Well, Hazel found it very suspicious. I think Hazel decided to go and see what was up with this whole note with Stacy. So she kind of hid in the shadows and watched the Ascended Stacy. And I think she either saw her being killed or came in as she was dying. Probably as she was dying. Went instead and found Stacy as she was dying. And so we need what Stacy's last words were. Remember, this is the Dean of Necromancy and Visions, and Perry has visions. He has sometimes prophetic dreams. Should I pull something out of the Major Arcana? Or should we try and come up with something that we think is relevant to this situation? Because I think they are trying to warn Perry about something to do with the Academy, probably about what is going to happen. Or maybe they're part of the organization that tie back earlier that is trying to take over the Academy. Maybe they are the rebel group that wants to do the right thing. Hi, Ragged Rascal. Thanks for joining. We got the Hermit again. I can't see what I'm doing. Can you see that? And of course, I haven't looked up my thingy. So let's quickly Wikipedia. I keep writing Wikipedia. Wikipedia. And do the Hermit Tarot card. Hermit Tarot card. We've done this one before. I think, what does it say? Standing on a mountain peak carrying a staff in one hand, lit light, and interpretation, prudence, circumspection, also and especially treason. Yeah, it does make sense that they are part of. We need to give the order. Maybe it is the Order of the Bones, because thanks, the bonnet. Yeah, it's a cute little my witch's hat. Because black is so boring. We need to go red. You know, this is a modern day witch. I think since we have treason in there, she may have mentioned something. The real Order of the Bones is wanting to take over. Hello! Take over running of the Academy. And maybe do away with a powerful student being sacrificed to keep the Academy secret, the mundane world. Okay, so and she is part of that. So what exactly are her last words? Is it a warning? Is it who did this to her? Or I mean, I don't think there are many words she's going to be able to get out, but let's go back to the tarot card. The Hermit, prudence, circumspection, and also especially treason, dissimulation, roguery, corruption. What would you say? If you only had a few words to warn one of the potential sacrifices, maybe it's help Perry or work with Perry to be on the same side. Last words. You and Perry need to take down the academy, or work with Perry, or help Perry, be with Perry. God, they're all Perry. Perry this, Perry that. I can't just say Perry. We know Perry's asleep because Hazel magically put him to sleep for the whole masquerade ball. Perry is the key. Perry, help. Sacrifice. Don't sacrifice. Don't sacrifice. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so that was what happened at the end of year 3. And Dump Truck has actually started to think more independently. He seems to be growing up. He's now in the rebellious teenager phase. He's no longer the catin he was when he first entered the academy with Hazel. And he no longer sees Hazel as his mother. Perhaps now they are more along the lines of equals, or perhaps siblings. I don't know. We'll see. Okie dokie. What is next? Let's start year 4. Where is year 4? Swords. Oh, I've got to refresh the document, it seems. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, restart capture. Okay, we've got to draw our 3 cards from the swords. I'll give them a quick shuffle. What are you saying about Dump Truck there, Dixon? Let's have a look. Don't worry, if Hazel dies, Dump Truck will wait at least 2 days before eating a corpse. I think Dump Truck knows how to go to the cafeteria and ask for food, because he can talk now, remember. But I don't think he would eat a corpse. Anyway, 3 cards. What is the first one? We have the 3 of Swords. So the 3 of Swords says, during a campus-wide ritual, you joined all the 4th years in chanting a chorus spell. The banquet hall was filled with echoing voices, speaking in unison the ancient words that kept the academy protected from beasts and dark magic. You weren't ready when a dagger silently slipped between your ribs, the sharp pain making you stutter, falter, and lose your breath. Who did you grab onto as your knees gave out? Do you think the protection wards will hold despite the interruption? And did you see who stabbed you? Holy fuck! Who stabbed me? Okay. Wow. Now it's getting dark. I cannot compete with this darkness. So, let's go back over here. What year is it? Year 4. Hazel. Card prompt 1. 3 of Swords. Jeez, I can't complain anymore that Hazel's not getting the interesting ones. Wow. Okay. So during a campus-wide ritual to ensure the academy is safe from beasts and dark magic, Hazel is stabbed between the ribs. Okay. This is dark, man. We got dark. You rebooting? Hi, TK. Am I muted? Oh, okay. No, you're hearing some issues. Okay, yeah. Or unmute. Sometimes I accidentally, when I'm watching someone else's Twitch stream, I accidentally mute it, and I'm like, why can't I hear it? Okay, so the question is who did you grab onto as your knees gave out? And do you think the protection wards will hold despite the interruption? Did you see who stabbed you? Okay. What do you guys reckon? I mean, there is a kid who murdered someone. That was their secret. Yeah, the other headphones. One of those days, is it, TK? So, can we remember who the name of the kid is? Is the secret where they murdered someone already? Let's go look for him. Was it Dickie? I don't think it was Dickie. Was it? Dickie's... No, it was Dickie. Dickie's secret is that he's murdered someone. I still think that he thinks he's in a rivalry with Hazel. He's still out for her. So we will say it is Dickie, and she totally saw it was Dickie the 16th. Wow. Okay, so Dickie the 16th. What else is going on? So Dickie the 16th. What did he do after that? Did he do it surreptitiously? Did he do it while he was invisible and I can see who invisible? Do I know who stabbed me? I would say that no, we don't know it was Dickie. I would say that the person was invisible. The attacker was likely visible, using an invisibility spell. But it is totally Dickie. But we do believe it is Dickie. Do you think the protection wards will hold despite the interruption? I think it depends what point of the ritual we were in the middle of. Would it be in Dickie's interest? Do you think Dickie is thinking coherently enough to have timed it so that... Is he just after Hazel? Is that his focus? It doesn't matter when it happens. Or do you think there's something going on, he's involved with a different group? Is he part of something bigger is what I'm getting at. Is he just fixated on hurting Hazel? Or is hurting Hazel like a warning or part of something bigger? What do you guys reckon? And while you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to say Perry caught her. Because that's interesting. Here is your rival, and he's the one who caught you. She could have been caught by one of her friends, but I think she staggers forward. Staggers a few steps. And is caught by Perry. Or she's caught by one of her friends, but Perry is directly across from her in the circle or something, and they have eye contact the whole time. Yeah. So we'll go with caught by Raven, Rufus, or Ronnie. I think she's caught by Raven. The whole time, her eyes are locked with Perry's is directly across from her in the ritual circle. So Perry could have seen something. And he looks worried, concerned, shocked. Okay. So Dixon has said that he thinks it is both. That Dickie was supposed to interfere with the ritual, and that Hazel was always on his to kill list. So it's 2 birds, 1 stone. So the protection wards probably won't hold up. But who's to say they can't do it again later? Maybe it's postponed. Because they need all of the 4th years, and Hazel's now injured and has to go to the infirmary. Not currently protected. And the ritual is rescheduled until Hazel is capable of joining in again. So that's potentially a couple of weeks. There's a couple of weeks where there is no protection. So I will go down and 16th. Stabbed her as he was supposed to interfere with the ritual, and Hazel was already on his to kill list. Which begs the question, who did he kill before? Because that's his secret, that he's already murdered someone. And was he the one who murdered Stacy, the Dean of Necromancy and Visions? He's a little assassin, a magical assassin. So those are some notes. Okay, I'll add that in there. Who has Dickie already killed, which would have been back in the 1st year, or prior to the 1st year? Matt. Remember that ghost Matt, who was in the 1st year of Perry and he died and we don't know why. So I reckon Dickie has already killed Matt. Back in the 1st year. Back in year 1. Matt went missing. They haven't found his body. Dickie also killed Ascended Stacy. Such a weird Ascended Stacy. Yeah, obviously daggers. Daggers are his tool of choice, as is invisibility. Okay. Let's move on to card prompt 2 then. Of the 3 of Swords. So the next one is the Knight of Swords. So let's look at that. The Knight of Swords, all the way up in the top right up here. I've just got a burp. I'm not going to mute myself. You can hear it. Oh, man, that was a little one. It's not too bad. You don't know how you got there, but one day you woke up inside a coffin. Menu 4 is where all the dark shit's happening. Okay. It didn't take you long to break out of the wooden box, thanks to your magic, but you were still sealed inside a tomb, surrounded by darkness. What magic did you use to escape the tomb? And what did the tomb belong, and who did the tomb belong to? Who was behind this? And do you think they meant for you to stay there? Dun, dun, dun! Now Hazel's getting all the good shit. Yay, Hazel! Okay, lovely burp, yes. The lovely little burp. Okay, so this was, what was it? Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords, yo! Okay, so, found self trapped in a coffin. Used magic to break free. What magic did you use? I've already got an idea for this one. To escape. Whose tomb did it belong to? And who was behind this? And do you think they meant you to stay there forever? So was it a coffin inside the tomb, I assume? Okay, so do you remember how in the first year, Burtis McChipper had that plant clone, and there was that magic was used by Hazel to age the plants to help them grow faster, and the clone ended up getting old. I want to say that she uses that plant magic on the wood of the coffin to make it so old that it becomes brittle, and she's just able to punch her way through it quite easily. What do you think? Would go brittle when old, right? Or they'll turn it into mulch. I don't know. Any ideas? Because we've mentioned that she, other than the plant magic, and the alchemical properties, necromancy's the only other real magic that we've mentioned in terms of Hazel. So unless she was able to use her magic to somehow get a skeleton nearby, animate it to open it for her, that could work. What do you guys think? I am also going to do some major arcana to find out who did this to her, because I don't... Obviously, Dickie's not working alone, so we need to introduce another person. So we have judgment. Whoops, I accidentally opened something that I shouldn't have. So are you guys accidentally, every time I change my window, are you guys seeing something different, aren't you? God damn it, it's so frustrating. What I'll do is I'll shut this. Okay, so Judgment Tarot card. We've pulled this one before. The card meanings are judgment, rebirth, inner calling, absolution, karma, causality, and second chance. And I am going to scroll through the book, Tangled Blessings book, to get informations on what number is it? I keep forgetting. The card is number 20. On a person. Since they have some, not exactly roll tables, they're more like tarot pool tables to get information. We have, it could be the Professor of War Magic. That's a good one. Or it could be another student. I think we need to bring in a professor. Yeah. Professor of War Magic. That sounds fucking awesome. And they make quick judgments. So they probably just decided to throw me in a coffin. Just, they were like, oh, this is a tomb. It's over there. We're near it. Knock you out, put you in. What else is there? They could be stoic and resolute, or they can listen before acting to stuff. No! They make quick judgments. Professor of War Magic. We need a name for them, if anyone's got a name. Okay, so, or is that whose tomb it belonged to? The former Professor of War Magic. I think it needs to be an important person. Is there a... Oh, there's an alumni list. It could be the tomb for the alumni for each of the houses. We could find a clue here. The tomb of the former Professor of Alchemy. Why alchemy, Dixon? What's your reasoning there? I did pull another Major Arcana card to see if something else would come up. We've got Temperance. The Temperance is 19. Professor of War Magic or the Professor of Spirituality. The Professor of Spirituality, their fault is that they are in denial. That's really interesting. They're in denial of what? Okay, what do you guys say? Wait, you needed a reason? Well, I was just wondering, if there was a reason why you said that. If there was something. You don't need a reason. You're just throwing out ideas. I just wondered if there was a reason. What magic did we use to escape? Do we do the old plant magic or do we necromancy? Called forth a nearby skeleton to assist. Whose tomb did it belong to? What if it is... Let's make it really obvious. What if it is the tomb for the runner-ups to the Prodigy? Prodigy competition. What happens to them after their bodies have been used for a year and drained of all their magical and life energy? They got to be buried somewhere, right? Maybe it's a warning. Yeah, I think that's it. So what would they call it? They wouldn't say, "Hey, these are the prodigy losers." They might not even have their real names. So someone on our side, or on the side of the Order of the Bones, could have put her in there to help get her of the failed prodigies. Yeah. The failed prodigies. Did they also put Sibylla and Anton in here from 1970? Grave of Genius. If we talk to Perry, who has been investigating this, they might be able to put the names together and he could say. So we would say she doesn't know this yet, but we can list a whole lot of names. Give me some names. And when she investigates who they are, it's a secret too, maybe, because they don't want people to know about the Kusu. Yeah. So they just have a whole lot of names, and she doesn't know who they're for. But there's a lot of them. So we'll just grab some names, and if she investigates who they were, and finds out they were all the losers for the prodigy race. Yeah. So if you guys want to call out some random names, we can put that in there. Who was behind this, and do you think they meant for you to stay there? We need someone. I don't think the Professor of War Magic works here. I think maybe... Maybe it is the our favourite instructor of necromancy, Silencius, or whatever his name was. Or it could be an unknown person. Person we don't know yet. Who's working in the secrets. Or it could be someone from the alumni list. Seer of illusions of nature, evoker of divination and forgotten texts, knight of necromancy and threads, scholar of hagiography and forgotten texts, architect of liminality and futures, archmage of negotiation, knight of disruption and dreams, warlock of stars and demons, conjurer of necromancy and spirits, weaver of illusions and forgotten texts, archmage of rituals and curses, archmage of alchemy and life, keeper of ruins and forgotten texts, master of divination and demons, and keepers of beasts and curses. Huh. It's an interesting list, isn't it? That's the job titles of some of the noteworthy alumni. Or could it be someone who is usually overlooked in this school? If that is the case, it could be the groundskeeper, academy security, the night guard, or the visiting alumni. I didn't like what I said. What do you guys reckon? Preference there? They meant for Hazel to find the runner-up prodigies. Clues. I should open up my name generator, shouldn't I? Random name generator. There's a wheel of names. Oh, I've got to add the names myself. Random name generator. Fake name generator is a fantasy name generator. Okay, I've got some names here. I will list them out. Terry McNeil, Royal Burns, there's some really cool ones. Salvatore Parks, Maurice Chang, and Millicent Gallegos. We'll add a couple more. Alba Welch. And what about Ward LaBouche? No. Ward Wheeler. There we go, it's a list of names. Rand McPherson. Okay. We will say that it's Rand McPherson who did this, and they are the groundskeeper, because we've got the daughter of the groundskeeper, although they could have a different name. Oh! The Professor of Curses is part of a cult. It's interesting. I'll take Rand McPherson out. We'll leave it as we don't know. We'll put Rand in here. Okay, so it's the second one. I think we're done with that. Card prompt 3. The Page of Swords. So, give me a second to get to the right page and then I'll turn it on. Page. Whoops. So, Page of Swords, right at the bottom there on the left. You remember sitting under a tree, enjoying a real nice day of weather. You had a view of the entire valley below the mountains from that spot. You were studying for one of your classes when something from the valley flickered in your vision. When you finally turned to look, you saw a group of mages holding swords to the sky as a dark portal opened above them. Suddenly, a bright light flashed across the land, forcing you to close your eyes. When you looked again, the mages and the portal were gone, but the book you were reading had a new page. What did the page say, and did you see a vision of the past, a glimpse into the future, or a warning? Wow, okay. Oh, well, I didn't get stabbed this time, so that's good. Okay, so while reading that weird book under a tree, saw some mages holding swords to the sky as a dark portal opened. Flash of light, and when you looked again, they were gone. Alrighty. So it asks. So this is that book that I now have completely whole, that Perry had half of and Hazel has half of. Now Hazel has all of it. So she's stitched it back together, and she's now found a new page. So it is. A new page appeared. What did the page say? Did you see a vision of the past, a glimpse into the future, or a warning? Wow. So there's two things there. This is interesting. Let us draw some major arcana and see if that inspires us. We have Justice. And Justice, what does Justice say? Justice Tarot card. The virtue Justice accompanies two of the other cardinal virtues in the major arcana, Temperance and Strength. The figure on the card holds a scale made of gold in their left hand, symbolizing a balanced decision. So the interpretation of this card is equity, rightness, probity, executive, triumph of the deserving side in law, or reversed, it's law in all its departments, legal complications, bigotry, bias, excessive severity. Justice. Well, they could have been like knights of the round table or something, holding. Now, was something meant to come through the portal? Were they opening the portal? Were they waiting for something to fight off? Or what? Equity, rightness, probity, executive, triumph of deserving side in law. This is really not helpful. I'm going to draw another one because that one wasn't helpful. Oh, I don't think we've had this one before. The sun. So it'd be good to have something different. The Sun Tarot card. Now, this is 19. Suggested that this card is associated with attained knowledge. The child of life holds a red flag representing the blood of renewal, while the smiling sun shines down on him, representing accomplishment. The conscious mind prevails over the fears and illusions of the unconscious. Innocence is renewed through discovery, bringing hope for the future. Interpretation of the sun. It's generally considered positive. It is said to reflect happiness and contentment, vitality, self-confidence, and success. Sometimes referred to as the best card in tarot, it represents good things and positive outcomes to current struggles. So, material happiness, fortunate marriage, contentment. Same as it says. Okay, what I'm going to do is, what is this one? I said it was 19, right? I think that maybe we recognized two of the swordsmen. And I think that, let me just find out, 19 and 11. 19. That one of them is not one of the noteworthy alumni, Master Ryan, the Archmage of Rituals and Curses. Of Rituals and Curses. And another was, what was I saying? 19. The Professor of Spirituality. I will make that one. Or at least looked like it. Similar to... And we'll make this one Random McPherson. Random. Yeah, we'll make it Rand McPherson. We'll get rid of Rand from up here. Or we could leave Rand in there. It could be in both places. That could be interesting. Okay. So this is something that could have been the past. Professor of Spirituality. I want to point out that the Professor of Spirituality is living in denial. So, I will get rid of Rand from here. And say Rand was a previous winner of the Prodigy race. So, like a much younger Rand or younger. Thank you. So I think that will set Hazel going to talk to the Professor of Spirituality. And the Professor... Might the Professor come clean? Might the Professor know? Because they might not have known when they won, but they may have known because they are now part of the academy, part of the teaching, part of the, maybe the board of trustees or something. So they now know what the deal is. So, I think that we would need some leverage against Rand. The book. Something's got to be in the book. So what does the book say? Maybe it is part of the Board of Trustees handbook, which explains things, or... No, that's too easy. I think the information needs to come from Rand themselves as opposed to from the book. So... What did the page say? Something about the maybe they have to chuck the person through the portal. The loser through the portal. So maybe they have to all hold their swords up too. Huh. Yes. This sounds good. Maybe he did know when it happened because Rand had to be part of the event that tossed him in there. And that way they are then held responsible for doing it, and they have to keep the secret, and they will keep Rand's secret. Are you getting what I say? By involving the winner in tossing the loser into the portal, which will then feed the Academy's invisibility shield, they have now become an accessory. Accessories in crime? No, they a collaborator. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say, right? They have now become one of the bad guys. So if they go and say something about it, they will also be held accountable. So, yeah. Accessory to murder, essentially. Yes, they are an accessory to murder. So what would the page say? Maybe it's... I keep coming back to the handbook. This is the ritual that needs to be done in order to open the portal. Open the portal that the prodigy loser needs to be sent through. So that also means there needs to be swords. So we need to get information from Rand McPherson. I'm going to come back to that after we've done Perry's stuff. What do you say? I will also do dump truck last. This is like how you write, you know? you don't start off at the from the beginning to the end. You like write bits everywhere, and then you come back and you have to change things, especially for murder mysteries and stuff when you've got to go back and plant the seeds. Okay, so I'm pulling Perry's out. Alrighty ho. Perry. Yeah, for Perry Hodder. Card prompt 1. Alright, first card for Perry is 8 of Swords. Dun dun dun. There. 8 of Swords. Let us go to here. 8 of Swords, the top left of this page. Thorfiers are required to study the creatures in the surrounding forest, and they are often trusted to do so alone. The Forbidden Forest is kind of still off balance from that whole pillar thing. Maybe... But Thorfiers are trusted? Okay, well maybe they trust the Thorfiers to be alright on their own. Okay. And they're often trusted to do so alone. While you were making notes about a new discovery, you heard what sounded like a woman singing. You'd learned enough to know that that's never a good sign, so you packed up your items to leave, but the woods had shifted around you, obscuring the trail, and the singing grew louder. What was stalking you, and how did you escape? Hoo-hoo. Okay, 8 of Swords. Studying creatures. The Forbidden Forest. Any ideas, peeps? Oh, making a discovery. And singing. Forest has shifted around you, obscuring the trail. The singing grows louder. What is stalking you? How did you escape? Remember, he was bird-like creatures last time. I believe there is a creature section of... Here, let me have a look for it. Yes, we can draw for it. We've got the Magician. And we've got the... Oh, this is the first time this one's come out. The Hanged Man. So let's look up these two. And get information from those. So... we have the Magician. Tarot card. From the Major Arcana. It says... Oh, it's number 1 card. I've got iconography. There's so much information on this one. Use the interpretation. Oh, why is this so much? I just want the easy little read the thing out it means stuff. Within the card game cards, the cruiser Pegasus trump card. Esoteric meaning. Iconography. Dude with a magic rod or wand seems to be the case. I mean, we are witches. Whatever. Okay, so it's the number 1 card. So it could be a mammal. It could be translucent. And the Hanged Man. Tarot card is number 12. Hanged Man, wisdom, circumspection, discernment, trials, sacrifice, intuition, divination, prophecy. Okay. Anyway, that is card number 12. What comes up on 12? I think the bird-like creature, I think he's encountered a harpy. I'm just going to say that he has encountered something that he'd encountered earlier, which was the bird-like creature that preyed on happiness, but was afraid of open spaces. I think that he got it completely wrong. And I think that he now realizes that it is a harpy, and that is why it's singing. I think that it's probably the one bird-like mammal, bird-like woman, who he first saw back in, was it year 1? Or year 2? One of the ones. We'll put 1/2. And it wants to put in half. No, it's not a half. Thank you. The praise on happiness. But dislikes open spaces. It took a liking to him. It took an interest in him. Maybe it is tied into the pillar from the Forbidden Forest earlier. Maybe Is it tied into the pillar from the Forbidden Forest? And it's an interest in him. Maybe it is falling in love with him, or that maybe this is what harpies do. Thinks it's fallen in love with him. Thinks it has fallen in love with him, and is now trying to claim him. How did he escape? We haven't said much about Perry's magic other than he can do potions pretty well. He can do portals, alright. And he has his prophetic dreams. So, does he have a potion on him that he could use? I mean, does he try to kill it? The fact that it thinks it's in love with him means that it's going to cause some problems for him. If it sticks around, could he befriend it? Does he have a potion of friendship, perhaps? Or does he send it through a portal? Or I'd rather go with potion or talking. What do you guys reckon? We've got the Hanged Man as an option. Which is wisdom, circumcision, trials, sacrifice, donation, prophecy. I'd like to keep that aside for later, I think. She could come in handy as an ally later if he's able to bring her, talk her around. Is he interested in her romantically himself? Or, but I mean, she steals happiness. She can't help it, that's what she preys on. Has he been happy for some reason? Maybe, yeah. Has he been happy? He's not happy, and that's what she preys on. Maybe he's the only person man she's encountered who hasn't had any happiness for her to prey on, and she finds that intriguing. He has no happiness. To prey on him finds that intriguing. He's too hot, he can't be happy. I can just see her now. She visits him at night and just stares at him through the window, perched like a pigeon, watching him. How did he escape? What? I think he uses his words and his charm. Because remember, he is a gentle leader. What does he say, or what do you think he does in order to bring her on side? Can he sing? Is he able to sing? Can they sing a duet? Is that, do you think he is? I mean, he's hot. Hot people can sing, right? It's a given. Can he sing? That's such a good idea. Or can he play an instrument? So he accompanies her that way. What do you think? He looks like a guitarist, right? Does he have his guitar with him? I've got itchy scalp. I think. Yeah, I think he gets her on side by using music. But what makes him think to do that? Does he have a ukulele? Does he have does he play the drums? Does he, with his trapper keeper or something? I call it trapper keeper because I know that's what the Americans call it. We don't really call it that. What do you guys think? How did he escape? He talks to her. Maybe he just shows an interest in her and wants to be her friend. At first, he talks to her out of fear. He's frightened. And just starts talking. Just babbling. Us asking questions. Then it moves into actual conversation. Eventually, he promises to come back and play with his guitar. And jam with her. She needs a name. We need the random fantasy generator. She needs something quite fantastical sounding like. Name generator, sentence generator, phrase generator. No. Random name generator. Fantasy name generator. Okay. Here's the button. Where are we going? Oh, this is confusing. There's too many things. Too many stuff. Fantasy and folklore, that'll do. Alien names, Amazon names, angel names, animal species names. Oh my god. Bird folk names. No, doesn't sound right. It'll be all like burbs. Fantasy. Fairy names. Fairy. Troll names, unicorn names, Valkyrie names. Where are harpies? Harpy names! They actually have harpy names. Okay. Unless you guys have actually named it. Nope, you haven't named it. Harpy names. I'm looking for one I can actually attempt to pronounce. Ugh. Xylus? Nerian? Areola? Nope. Silverus? Salonia? Aurora? Nearest. It's easy. Nearest. Her name is Nearest. She likes to perch outside his window and watch him sleep at night. Okay. But she lets him go. Okay, so he now has an ally. Because he didn't really have any friends. Because remember, he was a thief. So no one has been his friend for a while now. So I guess he needs to make friends with magical creatures. As another reason why he's not happy. Okay, card prompt. What was that? 1. Card prompt 2. We have the 6 of Swords. So, let us look for that one. Just a second. To the right page before I bring it up. Wands, cups, pentacles, swords. Was it the 6? Okay. PDF. 6 of Swords, near the bottom there. Oh, another ghost! A ghost came to you while you were alone in your room. The phantom told you of a newly revealed path to hell and said that someone was waiting for you at the end of it. The ghost beseeched that you follow them, warning that the path would require you to give up your ability to forgive, but that you would also find answers to your questions. Where did they lead you? Did you follow the path? And if so, who waited for you at the end, and what did they reveal? His ability to forgive? That seems... I mean, does he want to forgive people? He can still forget, right? That whole forgive and forget thing. So that was the 6 of Swords. Is it Matt again? A ghost revealed, told you a newly revealed path to hell had opened, and then someone was waiting for you at the end of it. If you follow the ghost, you would be required to give up your ability to forgive, but would also find answers to your questions. Where did they lead you? Did you follow the path? If so, who waited for you at the end? What did they reveal? I think it would depend on who it is, would be if Perry would go on that walk. So, this is like in Harry Potter where there was that mirror of desire, the Erised or whatever it was. Show you what you would desire. So I think if it's like that, it would be his parents. But would his parents actually know the answers regarding the academy, or are these answers regarding Perry and his family? But if we wanted answers about the academy, then it would have to be someone who has already died at the hands of the academy. So it could be Anton or Sibylla. If it was Anton or Sibylla, then I think he might actually be interested in going for that walk. What do you guys think? Anton and Sibylla? Why did they do what they did? Of course, they're moths at the moment, so maybe it's not Anton and Sibylla. But he did release them, so they could have ended up. Short of which, Dixon? Where did they lead you? So where did the path originate from? It would have to be somewhere on the academy grounds, obviously. Let's bring up the map. So there is the map. There's the rotunda. Celestials, dahlias, panthers, spires, elements, graveyard, forbidden forest, whispering lake. I think... Oh, here's an idea. We could tie it into Hazel when she was trapped in the tomb. And so he ends up in there at the same time she does. We won't take away Hazel's agency. We will have her free herself, find the names. The question is do they interact with each other? Are they there at the exact same time? Or, since it's Anton and Sibylla, they probably weren't put in this tomb, since they would have, where would their bodies... Were their bodies turned into moths, or just their souls? This is the question. I've given myself too much to think about. Because I would love to put something in the Whispering Lake, because we haven't done that yet, other than that's where Grandpa might like to go fishing. So we could put him in the lake. He has to go into the lake. So basically he has to pretty much drown. We have to have someone save him. Maybe it's his nearest will save him. Well, I would say to the Whispering Lake, has to enter the lake and practically drown. And effectively drown. To walk the path and speak with the souls at the end. This also means that there is a time limit for him. Once he loses consciousness and the point of death or being resuscitated. I think he does follow the path. Yes. I think it's both Anton and Sibylla, or is it one of them? And what did they reveal? They reveal stuff about... Did they reveal where it is? Because we've said that it's a ritual with swords that happens in a valley because of what Hazel has seen. So what they need to reveal is more about that ritual. So I want to say a location. Maybe either the location is where the invisibility machine or device is. That or if it's a portal, the portal could be opened almost anywhere. So really it's where I wonder if it could be the speaking gem. If it's more than just a speaking gem. Maybe all of maybe the speaking gem is like a hive mind of all of the failed prodigy races. You know, and it's their knowledge. That doesn't really make sense because they would only be a certain age. They haven't really lived their lives. The speaking gem makes more sense for it to be the headmasters. But we've said that there has in theory been only one headmaster the entire time. Unless it's just the name or the avatar of the headmaster, and the headmaster themselves has actually been different people throughout time. They've just held that same name, and like it's a title. And then when their job is done, they go and transfer themselves into the speaking gem. Ooh. Yeah, the headmaster's body is just an avatar for the speaking gem. We're making this even darker. If they break the speaking gem, then what? Because the speaking gem was originally introduced as a way to identify magically inclined people so they can be invited to the academy. And then it was also revealed, we also learned that it sorts them into their houses, like the sorting hat from Hogwarts. And then we found out that it could give a vision to people to tell them where things are. Maybe it could be that the speaking gem just absorbs the memories of people who visit the academy. It's the collective knowledge. No, I'm overthinking it here. What do you guys think? Anything there? What did they reveal? Did they reveal where the swords are? Maybe, or where the portal leads to, for that they are the prodigy loser is then sucked into. Do I want to destroy the academy is what I'm getting at. Do I want to reveal the academy to the world, that there's magic in the world, or do I want to just take it out completely? But then what about the magically inclined people? Is magic bad? Why did Anton and Sibylla do what they did? Did they fall in love with each other? Did they find out that one of them would be sacrificed and they couldn't deal with that, so they decided to destroy the academy? Or did they have a different reason entirely to try and destroy the academy? What happened in 1970? Maybe it was a significant contributor to climate change. I don't know. I'll come back to that one. Let's do prompt 3. Okay, prompt 3. The 5 of Swords. Oh, I think I'm going to win this part of the graduation. Okay, 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords. So the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords. You came across a powerful spell that would bind your future to whatever you desired. You were confident in your ability to cast it, but it required stealing the future from someone else. They wouldn't know it was you, and they'd live exactly 1 year more after you cast the spell, so they'd only live for 1 more year. If you follow through with the spell, who did you doom? And if you didn't cast the spell, what future did you say goodbye to? Wow. Sorry about the headphone warning, but I did do it away from the microphone. It wasn't too bad. Okay. So, wow, what future does Perry desire? What are Perry's motivations? We haven't really delved into what Perry's motivations are for all of this. We know that he has no parents, and the family he does have are shit, so he needs to become independent. Is that his motivation? Just to become independent? Which in a sense is fairly similar to Hazel's, right? Who wants to be, well, she wants to be the best. She's tried to become independent. Alright, let's write up the prompt. So, you come across I can type, a powerful spell that would bind your future, whatever you desired. Yeah. It required stealing the future from someone else. They wouldn't. Oh, it was you. And would only live 1 more year. If you followed on it. Who did you do? I have an idea. If you didn't cast the spell, what future did you say goodbye to? Okay, hear me out here. If he did follow through on the spell, I think that he knows about Dickie. So I think this could be his revenge on Dickie for what Dickie has done to Hazel and to Matt. So we might not even be doing this for Hazel, but Matt has totally filled in that it was Dickie who did it to Hazel, and maybe through some investigating he found out that Dickie also killed Matt. Maybe we could tie it in that when he was rescued from the lake, they also discovered Matt's remains. But if they discover Matt's remains, yeah. So this could also put Matt to rest. So we would no longer have Matt as an ally if that was the case, if we found his body. So I guess one of the questions is he doing this for Hazel? Or did he find out about what Dickie had done to Matt and he was doing this for Matt and to put Matt to rest? I mean, it would give him one less ally, but I think that he would do it for Matt, yeah. And if that's the case, what is this future that he wants? Does this also mean that he will... Does he do this spell to take down the Academy? Is he that into it? Dickie the 16th. Perry was rescued from the lake. And also maybe Hazel. Okay. So that also takes out one of the magical assassin. One of the supposed minions. What would... Because it doesn't ask what the future is if you do cast this spell. But also, it means Dickie still has one more year. So it's not like we're taking Dickie out of the way now, is it? Fuck Knuckles. Maybe we know this is over. Dickie thinks he's gotten away with it, and then one day, a year later, he just... and he's gone. Someone who died here. Who else has wronged Perry? His cousin. Would he kill his cousin? Dixon, would he kill his cousin? It would be one way to get revenge, because he would not be anywhere near him in a year when he would fall over dead, right? I kind of think he would kill his cousin. Murder is always the answer. Yeah, I'm going to change that. He was, yeah. His cousin. What did I call him? Barry? It was Barry, right? Near Barry. He dies in a year. He would not even be a suspect. So what future does he want? What future does he want? It doesn't ask that, though. We can leave it ambiguous, can't we? It could just be to live. This is a dangerous one. Because we know that we want to at least... Perry knows he doesn't want to power the magic, be sacrificed. So he wants a good future, right? Okay. I don't know. Well, we'll leave it ambiguous. Let's come back to... What did they reveal? They could reveal Dickie. I've still got this turned on. God damn it. Okay. They, Anton and Sibylla could reveal Dickie. That doesn't seem like worth giving up forgiving people. So if we need to reveal something about the headmaster, that the headmaster has indeed been there since the beginning. I'm gonna look up what dump trucks year-end questions are. We go back over Hazel's cards and add in dump truck. Year-end question you've changed. For each prompt, describe your memory however you'd like. So when she was injured, was he anywhere nearby? Or was he only there in the aftermath during her recovery? Oops. Or did he find out it was Dickie? I think he found out it was Dickie. I think he was able to... Maybe he has become familiar with the sense of all of the magic users and was able to trace it back to Dickie. Whether or not he decides to tell Hazel, though, or tries to deal with it himself, I think is interesting. Is familiar with the magic sense of the students and is able to identify the attacker as Dickie. I don't think he tells Hazel, because she has to focus on healing first of all. But he does keep an eye on Dickie. Keep that for there for now. Found self trapped in a coffin. Magic to break free. What magic to use to escape? Okay. Dump truck. How did dump truck create who that? Was he also in the tomb? Did he follow her and meow on the other side of the coffin? And scratch on it? Oh, he probably told her there was some skeletons that she could use nearby. I mean, she would have worked it out, but... Scratched on the outside of the coffin, because cats do that. I mean, not necessarily on coffins, but would. Where she was. And that there were skeletons nearby. Does he know who did it to him? Because we still haven't decided who did it. We just think it's possibly connected to the person who left the note in her book about the... What was she tipped off about? Something at some point. Okay. And then, while she was reading the book, she saw some mages holding swords to the sky as a dark portal opened, flashed with light. Again, they were gone. New page appeared in the book, but it's all open the portal. The loser prodigy needs to be sent through. Maybe they sent the winner through the prodigy to do something else. Maybe the winner is brainwashed. There are 2 rituals. 1, 2. And that's what they Okay, so the winner prodigy goes through a portal. Brainwashed. And then Anton inform him that there are 2. What do they reveal? So even if you win, you were fucked. That's why they both work together. After graduation. One is the winner that essentially brainwashes them. Or reprograms them to a sense. And it might be well intended at one point to like keep everything hidden. And the other is for the loser. which powers the invisibility shield to hide the magic island. The academy is situated on. So winning fucks you over as well. And is why they decided together to bring the academy down. Okay. Might they also... It could be the speaking gem. Okay. Work that one out. We don't know what his future is. Maybe he does it to ensure that the academy... that he takes down the academy. It might not necessarily mean he lives past that, but that's how he words it. You know, like a wish spell. It could be that the spell could backfire on him if he doesn't word it the right way, you know? Okay, that's that. So I guess we have to do the graduation now, right? Not graduation, the final exam. Final exam? Before we do the final exam, there is something regarding Dump Truck. So, Dump Truck, you've changed so much over the past 4 years. You are not merely a domestic pet, but rather a full-fledged familiar. As your student prepares to undertake their final exam, you have a choice before you. Will you stay with the person who brought you into this magical world, or make your own way using your new knowledge and skills? What do you guys think? Do you think Dump Truck has decided to stay with Hazel and her sister and be her familiar forevermore? Or do you think that this little derpy guy in the corner here, who's not as derpy anymore, I mean, yes, he could still be derpy, who has learned much and absorbed magical energies and has a skull mark on his skin under his fur, goes off to do his own thing? What do you think? Dixon says, I think Dump Truck turned evil and will become the new headmaster. What? Hey, what if the familiars are actually the headmaster? There is some things that will happen if he decides to stay or if he decides to leave, which will affect the final exam. So we need to make that decision. You think Dump Truck's gone evil? What did he do this year? He's been following Dickie. He identified Dickie as the attacker and has been following him. He still seems to care about Hazel. He still has been helping her. Oh, we didn't say how he was there with that one. And that there was... So she finds out that the Rand informs her of what happens to the loser, I think. Past and guilt. And I don't think he tells her about what happens to the winner, because I don't think he really knows. But I think he says, and he reveals what happened to his rival. And his rival needs a name. His rival was someone from the list, isn't it? His rival was... Let's go with Elba Welch. He became an accessory. To her murder. How did the dump truck hear about that? Because the dump truck would have heard about it, right? Does dump truck care? Dump truck. What did dump truck do during this? I think he helped her interrogate Rand. You know, he played the bad cop, the bad cat, smacking at him and scratching him. Rand's Gibson. Smacking and scratching. Smacking them around. Hissing. Scratching him. I think Dump Truck has become the parent. He is looking out for Hazel. He now feels responsible for Hazel. So I think he's staying. So since he stayed, the student can remove the lowest card from the deck that the creature type came from. And the creature type, because I pulled that card. So from the Pentacles. Let's go get the Pentacles. From all the cards we drew, Queen, King, 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so I can remove the Pentacles from the drawing the cards. I think we go ahead and we do the final exam, and then we decide if Perry and Hazel are working together, or if Perry's working on his own, or if Hazel's working on their own. To get the best of, or if they have contingencies. Kind of, you know what I'm saying? To come back and kind of like you do a heist thing and you say, you encounter something in the heist, and then you go back and you say, I prepared for this by doing this before the heist started, kind of thing. So I think we should do that. So, before the final graduation exam, you and your rival gather in the banquet hall, locking eyes before the exam begins. A temporary platform the length of the room serves as a stage. After watching you two grow in power and stature the last 4 years, every instructor is seated and ready to see how the exam unfolds. Majors from outside the school and current students make up the audience as well. Everything has led to this moment. Will you be bested by your rival, or will you prevail as one of the greatest students the Academy's ever seen? Do you feel like you've studied enough? Do you trust your rival to play fair? Are you nervous? Do you even want to win? Should we answer those questions first? Do you feel like you've studied enough? Hazel. Considering what they've been doing during the 4th year, I don't think... And she's been feeling like a fraud, at least during the first few years that she's been at this. Well, the first year she thought, oh wow, I'm really good at this thing. But then the doubt started to creep in, didn't it? Do you feel like you've studied enough? No. Perry. Doesn't matter. It's a yes-no question, but he says it doesn't matter. Do you trust your rival to play fair? Hazel. Do you trust Perry? Does Hazel trust Perry at this point? I think they have gotten their revenge on each other. They have worked together once in the past. They are surrounded by so many magicians. I think... Does she trust him to play fair? That is so hard. I'm going to leave that one, and the same for Perry, leave that one open. Are you nervous? Hazel. Yes. Perry. Yes. Do you want to win? Hazel. At this point, Hazel only knows what happens to the loser. So yes. Perry. Doesn't matter. Alright, let's get into it. I am going to bring up the PDF. Okay. Down the bottom here. The exam pits you and your rival against each other for the duration of 4 complex tasks. Part 1. Spells and Curses. The Deck of Wands. Which I think was the first one, wasn't it? Alright, those are his. These are mine. A showcase of wand flourishes magical tethering, control of mystical energy, and the caster's will. I have to draw one from each of our piles, and the highest number, I believe, wins for that round. Should we draw Perry first? Oh, Knight of Wands. That's pretty high. Knight of Wands. Perry wins. Spells and curses. Perry. Knight Wands. Winner. Hazel. 9 of Wands. Okay. Next, we have Potions and Tonics, which is the Deck of Cups. Potions and Tonics. Perry's probably good at this one, because he's good with the potions. So what are the cups? Oh, they're wands. No, they are cups. I was looking at the wrong one. Oh, I got some high ones in cups, though. Okay, so a showcase of disciplined elemental and organic manipulation to display a fundamental understanding of alchemical formulae. Oh my god. Alright. Should we go with Hazel first this time? Ooh, high one. Queen of Cups. 3 of Cups. Wow, wow. And I think Hazel's really surprised by the result of this, since, you know, she knows that Perry's really good at potions. So, Hazel. What was it? Queen of Cups is the winner. So they are tied at the moment, and Perry has 3 of Cups. Very surprised. Alright. The next one, part 3, is for rituals. A showcase of arcane concentration and geometry using runic and other lost languages to manipulate time, speak with the dead, or other complex magical tasks. This is where this is Hazel's shit this time. This is where Hazel's at. So this one's Pentacles. And this is the one because Dump Truck decided to stay and be her parent for a change. This is the one where I was able to pull out the lowest card for Hazel. Okay, so we'll pull for Perry first. 6 of Pentacles for Perry Hodder. And Hazel, King of Pentacles. She aces this one. This is her forte. Unlike Perry, whose forte was potions and tonics, he whiffed it. Okay, Perry. 6 of Pentacles. Alright. And part 4. Since it is 2-1 at the moment, and it needs to be 3. Best of 3. It's a duel against your rival, the Deck of Swords. A showcase of dexterity, patience, endurance, innate magical talent, and the ability to protect your opponent's next moves. In theory, if Perry wins this one, it is a tie. Should I look up to see if she has already won already? By winning 2 out of 3. If you win the first 3 parts, you win the exam. It just says the first 3 parts. If your rival wins the first 3 parts, there's no way you'll win the exam. No, I'll say we go ahead and we do this one. We'll say this is the opportunity to, you know, you get 2 points instead of 1 or something. Alright. So it is swords. Why do I only have 2 swords? What? I'm missing a sword. What? Look, hang on. I fucked up somewhere. Let me see if I can work this out. So year 4, we should have 3 of Swords. I got that. The Knight of Swords. I got that. And the Page of Swords. Where did the Page of Swords go? I have lost the Page of Swords. Seriously, where did the Page of Swords go? cheating! There was cheating on behalf of Perry Hodder. Hey man, where'd the Page of Swords go? Pinnacles, 8 of Cups, Knight of Cups, 10 of Wands, 7 of Wands, Queen of Pinnacles, Queen of Cups, 9 of Wands, 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords, 8 of Swords, Page of Swords. God damn it, Perry! He did cheat. Okay. Oh my god. Who do you think will win? This is the winning one. Okay, so I now have the correct swords. Hang on. That's Perry's hand. I drew them both at the same time. Remember, the highest wins. What is it? Oh no. 6 of Swords. 3 of Swords. Perry wins. Hazel looks defeated. She is defeated. And the crowd is stunned because how many people still like Perry because of his reputation as being a thief and untrustworthy? But then, do people really like Hazel? Because who likes smart women? But I think it is at this point we discover that the Order of the Bones has gotten involved. And they are not happy that Hazel is lost. And I believe that they are in the process. What are they doing? The lights go out. Of course the lights go out. I think that the Order of the Bones have been supporting Hazel. They do not want her to lose. And so they put the darkness and everything, throws the Academy into chaos. And when that happens, someone grabs Hazel. And I think it's the necromancy instructor. And when the lights come back on, Perry's also missing. I think they grabbed both of them. And told them to get to the speaking gem. Well, the Order of the Bones covers them. Do we think they tried to destroy the speaking gem? Or do we think they decided to do something else? The Order of the Bones believes that it's the speaking gem that is the heart of this. Do Perry and Hazel believe it is the speaking gem that is at the heart of this? Or do they believe it is the headmaster? I think it's the headmaster. But we could split them up, have one of them confront the headmaster and the other one destroy the speaking gem. Do you think they have a preference on who does that? Or do you think they rock, paper, scissors it? I say they rock, paper, scissors. Let us pull from their cards for the highest number. I think Perry wants to confront the headmaster, though. Actually, yeah, why don't we do that? Perry, headmaster, and Hazel, the speaking gem. Or, I mean, the story as it is would be Perry going after the speaking gem. Perry's already dealt with his cousin. That leaves Dickie and out there. So we have Dickie, we have the speaking gem, and we have the headmaster. We have Dump Truck, we have Perry, and we have Hazel. They decide who goes after the headmaster. Highest one runs. I've got I don't think Dump Trunk would go after the headmaster. So it is between Perry and Hazel. Hazel's going after the headmaster. Perry's going after the speaking gem. Do we think that makes sense? Huh. Okay. I have a better idea. The headmaster is with the speaking gem. Go after the speaking gem. I think Perry wants to go after the headmaster. I think he'll confront the headmaster. I think they can both try and fight the headmaster. I would use the Major Arcana for the headmaster. Alright. We have a fight with the headmaster. I'm scared. Are you scared? They both go after the headmaster. I think Perry goes in first. Oh my god, it's the ace. Ace is not good, is it? Ace is the lowest card possible. Ace of Wands. Oh my god. Wands. Tries to use a spell and a curse on the headmaster. And the headmaster... That is so dumb. This is the lowest card, man. And the headmaster pulls the magician. You know what? The headmaster pulled the magician. It is also the number one card. They exchange harm. No one wins there. That's fucking hilarious. Okay. It's Hazel's turn. Hazel gets the Knight of Cups, and the headmaster gets the Hermit. So the Knight of Cups is she tries a potion, so she drinks something to give herself more power, and the headmaster card number 19 and the Knight of Cups. The Knight is higher than the page, so 10, 11. Oh, it's so close. No, it's not. The Hermit is 9. She manages to get him as he takes damage. She turns out to be quite powerful. Should we do best 2 out of 3? We have to hit him 3 times. Okay. Perry tries again. Knight of Wands! Much better! With the Wheel of Fortune. Tarot card. The Wheel of Fortune tarot card is 10. Perry gets in another hit with the Wands. The Wands cup is spells and curses. This time he manages to get the curse off. One more hit. And he is down. It's at this point that I believe Dickie comes in. And tries to attack. Temperance. 15. Dump truck. Jumps in at him. The temperance card is a 14. As opposed to dump truck 7. Dump truck takes a slash. And yells in pain as he jumps back out of the fray. He goes straight for Hazel. Getting a 12. He also slashes Hazel. I've only got an 8 of cups. We now have one more hit required to get the headmaster. Perry goes for the headmaster. We have the Page of Pentacles, which is an 11. As he goes in, this time with a ritual. Is it an 11 or a 2? It's a 2! The headmaster goes down. Perry succeeds. That leaves the speaking gem and the Dickie. With dump truck down as well. Lying off to the side there. Does Perry go to help Hazel? I think yes. As he goes after Dickie. Oh my god, that's a 3 against Dickie, and we have the devil for Dickie. Didn't pull this one before. The devil tarot card is a 15. Perry takes a hit. Dickie is fine. Hazel yells out in anguish and comes after Dickie. She uses a curse with the 9 of Wands against Dickie. He uses the Star Tarot card. He gets in a hit. One more hit, I believe, and Hazel is down. Perry, I believe, might be the same one. I think Dickie's doing better. I can't recall. Perry tries it again. 6 of Pentacles this time. He comes in again with another ritual. Oh my god, I can't spell that one. 5. He gets him. One more hit. Dickie goes down. Queen of Cups from our Queen Hazel. As she attacks using her plant knowledge, alchemical formulae. And Dickie has... Oh no. That's really high. It's just 17. Hazel goes down. Perry and Dickie. Ooh. 5 of Wands from Perry. The Lovers from Dickie. He attacks Perry. Nearest comes in. With the Fool. How apt. Shoves Perry out of the way. Ooh. The fool is even numbered as 0 or 22. I think he's coming for the killing blow. Magically poisoned daggers, 2 of them. She shoved him out of the way. Perry out of the way. And takes a killing blow. As that is a 0. And Nearest goes down and will not get back up. Perry cannot believe that she has just sacrificed herself for him. He goes in one more time. Just fighting. With a sword. 8 of swords. We have the Emperor. That does not sound good. He's going to go down, isn't he? Oh. It's a 4. Dickie goes down. Perry rushes over to Hazel. She's still breathing. He grabs his sword and coup de grace Dickie. Matt, who has been watching this thing as a ghost, smiles at Perry, gives him a nod, and then slowly disappears into the mist and flies away, dissipates, as his murderer is now dealt with. Hazel. Does Hazel wake up at this point? I think Perry goes straight to the speaking gem with the sword and destroys it. After the graduation in the Magic Academy, that is then revealed to New Zealand and the wider world, although I think the New Zealand government would probably try and keep this a secret. There was dock workers, and by dock I mean the Department of Conservation, who were on a nearby island, suddenly see this island magically appear while they are trying to, catch stoats and set traps to rid the islands in Fjordland of pests so that the native wildlife can flourish once more. Are stunned to find a new island suddenly appear nearby, and they come out to investigate. Inform their superiors, who inform their superiors, and the New Zealand government gets involved. Hazel wakes up back at Grandpa Havel's place after spending some time in hospital. She's been in a coma, a magically induced coma. And Perry is there to tell her what happened. And she immediately asks about dump truck. And Perry is unable to answer at first, but she presses him. And he says that dump truck disappeared. And she's very sad. Because dump truck had become, like a person to her. A friend, a confidant, a sibling even. But a few weeks later, Grandpa's doing some renovations, some landscaping. He's ordered a dump truck, and beep, beep, beep as it backs up and dumps out its load of dirt, and a little kitten who looks suspiciously like dump truck, complete with a little skull mark on his skin, hidden by his fur, tumbles out on top of the dirt pile. And I think we'll leave it there. What do you guys think? How was that? That was a bit sad. But hey, New Zealand has a Magic Academy. They've learned that magic is real. The evil headmaster was vanquished. Dickie was destroyed. I think I don't know if I don't think Perry killed the headmaster. I think that he left him to face justice, but he definitely had to kill Dickie, knowing what he knew. The headmaster is captured, held accountable. Dickie is killed by Perry. Perry destroys the speaking gem. Doc is startled to find a new island in Fjordland. Hazel wakes up from magically induced coma. Find the truck missing. A new little kitty tumbles out of a dump truck at Grandpa's. The end. Whew. That was an adventure. That was a bit of a roller coaster. It started off pretty sedate in the year one, and then Perry Hodder started getting some much more interesting prompts than we did for Hazel, and then Hazel's really picked up, and then there was the final confrontation as Brackroot Academy was revealed to New Zealand at the very least. Well, the New Zealand government and the Department of Conservation. I guess they now have a Department of Magic. I want to thank everyone for joining me these past few weeks as I made my way through Tangled Blessings, which was made by Cassie Mothman. You can find a link to this game on seroRPG with my affiliate link. I very much enjoyed that. It was very interesting. I think the fact that it was something that I could play and think out like a story on the stream made it even more interesting for me. And who knows, maybe I'll turn it into a little novella or novelette and fiction, make it into, a bit more coherent. See how that goes. It would be really interesting to play it 2 players. So instead of me pulling for the rival and coming up with my ideas for it, would be even more interesting for someone else to play as the rival, and we could maybe role play and interact a bit more. It would also be good if they had their own familiar as well, just to make it even more interesting. Yeah, I think it is, because it has a 2-player option that does that. And I think it would be even more interesting, especially for being able to do role play. Thank you very much, everyone. And I think that's it. I'll say bye. Yeah, okay, I'll wave awkwardly at the screen while I find the bye-bye button. Bye! Thanks for coming! Bye! Oh, here we go.